Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host.
Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, I'm your wonderful host, Mr. Rand, and we have a full-packed episode this week. We're talking about Andor, we're talking about Predator Borderlands, and we're going to be talking about that gut-wrenching scene in The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2, and I have a very special guest, back to back. He's been on this podcast. I got Eric. How you going, man?
I'm doing good. I'm honored to be back just a week later.
I appreciate it.
And yeah. Well, it's fun to. I'm glad we can get into Last of Us since we didn't have too much time for that last week, and there's more to talk about anyways now.
I know. I think even though we didn't talk about it last week, I feel like it's a little bit more impactful coming into this week. And not to mention, with, as I said, like the launch of Andor Season 2. And probably kick right off is that we got the brand new trailer for Predator Borderlands, which is coming out November 7th this year. Did you see that trailer?
I don't think I've even. Is that like part of? I haven't even heard of it. Is that a game?
No, it's a brand new Predator movie.
Oh, Predator Border. I heard Project Borderlands, and I was like, is that okay? Yeah, I did. Never mind. I misheard you. I was thinking of like the Borderland video games.
Sorry, not Borderlands. Sorry, that's on me. Sorry, Badlands.
Oh, okay.
Predator
Okay, that
Badlands.
was my confusion. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think I did see it. I think I watched someone watching it, like a trailer reaction.
Was it mine?
Maybe. I think I don't know. I like it's a blur, that one. I don't know. So I didn't like really get a good view of the actual trailer. I don't think, but yeah, we'll talk about it, I guess.
Well, look, I recommend you watching it. It looks good. The interesting thing is it's going to be from the point of view from the Predator itself. They're going to be the protagonists going into this movie, unlike previous Predator movies where the humans were the main characters. No, the Predator is going to be the main one. And there's also a link to the Alien universe. So it could be the fact that the Predator movie is officially in the same universe as the Alien movies, which means that we would hopefully get Alien versus Predator 2. Sorry, Alien versus Predator 3, but redone.
Like you just mean like a reboot, not a sequel?
Yeah, reboot. Yeah.
Okay. I think I've
together.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen like the first Alien versus Predator, I think, and then I never saw the second one.
No.
And I don't know, man. I'm not so good with the Alien movies. I don't know. I have trouble stomaching those ones. They're like, I don't know. They're just the right kind of gross that I can't like. I don't know. They just really gross me out, and then I like lose my appetite for like 2 weeks. I don't know.
Did you watch Alien Romulus?
No. Oh God, no.
It's not bad. Like I highly recommend it. Like Alien Romulus.
Heard it's like good. The nastiest one.
Yeah. I would say it's not the most goriest one.
I don't know, man. I'm not. I respect them. They're at least the first two or so, but they're not really like. They're not quite my cup of tea.
Okay, what about the first Predator movie with Arnie?
Yeah, it's been a while. I have an easier time with the Predator movies from what I remember. Not that I've seen them a ton, but I've seen like the first 3 of them and Prey like all one time.
Prey was so good, and it was fucking robbed that movie was only dropped on Disney Plus and actually wasn't given a theatrical release.
Yeah, I mean, that might have been like why it did as well as it did, though, or right? Or I don't know. I mean, maybe it would have done well in theaters, I guess. When did
I
it came out? Like, were we still kind of in COVID-ish times?
no, I don't think we were in COVID times.
2022, maybe.
I think it would just got just only just got dumped on Disney Plus. Like they didn't want to try. Yeah, it was 2022.
Hmm.
Prey, and that was so good. And this Predator Badlands is from the same director. Where are
So
we?
this one's going to be in theaters.
Yes, it is November the 7th.
Okay. And then that's separate from then there's like an animated one too.
Yes, that's coming too. So this will be separate. See, Prey was the most watched premiere across all films and television series on Hulu in the United States when it dropped. But it did so well, and then we're getting Predator. Yeah, so Predator Badlands. In a
Are they both
future
the same director as well?
yes, in a future on a remote planet, a young predator, outcast from his clan, finds an unlikely ally Thigh and embarks on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. Adversary.
Okay. Okay. You know, it won't surprise anyone that this is like what I'm relating Predator and Alien to, but I do have I think I still haven't read them, but I remember at some convention I picked up one or two comics I think that are Batman and Superman versus Alien and Predator or something.
Oh yeah, there's so many comics
Yeah.
of that. And the thing is, the Alien versus Predator, the first movie, wasn't too bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't too bad. And then Alien vs Predator 2 Requiem, I think it was that was pretty bad. That was bad.
Yeah, I do have a DVD box set of almost all the Alien and Predator movies, including those two. But I sort of literally with it after Alien 3, I stopped, and I just I don't know, man, I couldn't do anymore.
Well, Alien, it's pretty much only Alien 1, Alien 2, Alien 3 is horrible, Alien 4 is horrible, and then you get into the Prometheus, then you get into Alien Covenant, and then you get into Alien Romulus. But Prometheus wasn't bad. Weird, but not bad.
Yeah, I was kind of intrigued with that one. I'm intrigued enough that I went to go see it in theaters, despite being grossed out by the Alien movies. But then I don't know. I don't think I still really liked it that much. But yeah.
No.
So that's me with that franchise.
Well, Predator Badlands, my bad, is coming out November the 7th. It's just so far away. One other thing that's been taking the gaming by storm this past week is Oblivion Remaster. This kind of surprised everyone, this complete drop, but it's gone completely insane. At one point, it had over 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, and that's just Steam alone. And just how ridiculous this has blown up for not a secret drop, but pretty much hey, here's a remaster, go have fun.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know if I remember. I think I might have played the original, but I played all of Skyrim, and I remember being super into that game when that came out, and I've played most of Fallout 3. I know that's just because it's Bethesda, and
yeah.
And I've also picked up obviously also Bethesda. I picked up when it came out a week or two ago, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, but I have yet to actually start it.
That's my next little thing. Right now I'm playing Helldivers, but next thing is my Indiana Jones, and I would also like a quick shout out to the Upside Dan for coming and put us on YouTube.
Dan the man's here.
Damn right.
I didn't know if he'd want to show up. I usually tell him if we're doing live streams, but I didn't even tell him this time because I thought he was gonna watch Andor, and so I didn't know if he'd want to hear spoilers. But yeah,
because we are going to go in spoiler territory, 110%. But yeah, my next is Indiana Jones. That's what I'm going to be diving into next. But it's just Oblivion. Like, I know it was a classic. I'm just so surprised at how much it's just blown up for the past week. Um, for the game, and like those 100,000 people playing, um, is just on that's just on PC. That's not considering PlayStation and Xbox as well, which would be even higher.
I mean, I feel like just whenever Bethesda puts out any kind of big open world thing, it's kind of a big deal for gamers, right?
Yeah. Uh,
And they haven't really done that in quite a while, so
no.
the,
Uh,
it's pretty much
Upside
like a new
Down.
game, right? Like I know it's a remake, but like the difference, it's
The
like one of
difference is
those.
significant.
It's one of those different times where it's like, oh no, it's like yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah, the difference is significant. Dan said, "Yeah, I'll dip out when you talk about Andor, lol."
Okay.
Don't worry. We'll give you ample time on when that's going to happen. But yeah, just completely blow up altogether. And this one was a bit surprising to me, but Sydney Sweeney will apparently be appearing in a split fiction live action movie that's currently in active development. Now, Split Fiction is a two-player game that's blown up on PlayStation because getting two-player games is very scarce at the moment. But seeing this is probably one thing I was very surprised in the past week. I was like, "Oh, Split Fiction is doing really well," and then, bam, Sydney Sweeney will be in a movie about it. I'm like, "Huh." Uh, all right, didn't see that coming this week.
Yeah, I hadn't really heard of that game before until even hearing this news. But so it's like split, like two player, like as in like local, like split screen. You mean?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Because yeah, it's hard
Uh,
to. That's one of the things I like about having the PlayStation Plus because it's like the only way to play a lot of like older PS3 games and stuff, and because there's a lot more of those kind of games that you can actually sit down and play with a friend in the same room.
I know,
Like a lot of the Lego games and all that are on there, and that's pretty fun to play with a friend.
Oh, 100%. And that's why Split Fiction has done so well is because it's a well-made game, and the fact you have that local two player, and you know, it's just blown up.
Multiverse is kind of fun too with the friend whenever. I know it's like shutting down this month, but I think you can still play locally after. I don't know. It's pretty fun, that game, I think. But I don't know.
Um all the Lego games are usually fun. I still can't believe there was going to be a James Bond one that never saw the light of day.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that. That's
Yeah.
my favorite Lego game ever, if it happens.
Yeah, like I don't know why they just pulled the trigger on that.
I think, yeah, I don't know. From what I've heard, I think it maybe had to do with because it was right around the time of like I think it was literally going to be like the second kind of IP Lego game they made after Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was, and then they ended up. I think they went with Indiana Jones after they ended up not going on with the Bond one, which kind of makes sense. I mean, they're Indiana Jones is kind of James Bond adjacent in a lot of ways.
Yeah, my favorite's the Jurassic Park one.
I still haven't played that one. I've gone through I mean, some of them I played a lot when I was a kid, and then I'm like revisiting some now. Like the Indiana Jones one is one of them. That's probably my favorite one, I'd say. But I replayed all of the prequels so far in the Star Wars one. I haven't gotten to the original trilogy yet again.
I still love how you can force choke someone and just blow up into bricks.
Yeah, and then it's funny in the Indiana Jones one. I think sometimes I can't even make it happen though. But you can like if you use your whip just the right way. I think it's like they wouldn't be able to make this now probably if you use it like on any of the female characters. He like pulls them and like kisses them.
Oh no, you won't be able to do that.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to.
Yeah. No, they don't. You won't be able to do that now. Oh. And you probably won't be able to do that in the new one either.
Well, yeah, I think, and so that's yeah, but he probably even at the time for a kids game, maybe that was a little risque.
It's
I don't know,
fine.
but so you can imagine why probably why it didn't work out with the James Bond one was because they're like, okay, the the sex and all that is a little like too baked into the DNA of that franchise.
Maybe, but hey, look, no one would have questioned it at all.
Yeah,
It,
if
it was
yeah, no, if it was Lego
yeah.
and that would have been you can see why at the time they would have done that, like when it was like around like yeah, it was like I think it was because it was like right on the cusp of like when maybe Casino Royale was coming out, like when the Daniel Craig ones were starting.
Still my favorite. Still my
Yeah,
favorite.
and like so I think maybe they like thought though because it was like rebooting and it was going in this more like overtly dark direction, more adult direction, maybe they thought it didn't fit, I guess. But like I don't
Maybe.
know. I'm not saying I agree with that, but that's sort of what I've heard. There's probably
Okay.
more to it than that, but I mean,
Oh, I still
um,
believe that.
because like, but it's kind of weird though, because it's like then, but yeah, but you had like right after the Indiana Jones game, you had the Batman one too, and like so they were still able to do a Batman game that wasn't like based on the current movies, but like the same year the Dark Knight came out, so like.
Eh,
I'd say the Dark Knight trilogy is kind of about the same level of maturity as like the Daniel Craig Bond movies, right?
no, I would say 100%.
So
Casino Royale and The Dark Knight. Yeah.
yeah, so like it's kind of yeah, it's weird that they like I don't know. It might have even had to do with Eon Productions or whatever, or like the Broccolis. Maybe they didn't want it because I know they were very
Yeah.
like particular about what they did with what they did and didn't do with the Bond franchise. So
And now it's all up to Amazon.
yeah, um, yeah, I don't know, man. That's
All Amazon now.
That's yeah, I guess we didn't like talk about that much, yeah, but I guess you talked about it yourself. But yeah, that's like it's like I've sort of like accepted it, but it's still very like as someone who I would say maybe like if as a overall franchise, like not a particular trilogy or anything, but just as the overarching franchise, James Bond's probably my personal favorite, just because I
Mm.
feel like it's such a special, unique franchise that's like been around for so long and has reinvented itself so many times. So I don't know, it's scary to suddenly like the same family's been doing them since the 60s and now it's suddenly like Spectre owns James Bond.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
the
very
thing is that
concerning, I think.
well they would have got a very nice payday for them to no longer have creative control.
Yeah, I mean at the very least though I think they did kind of like if it was ever going to happen that it sort of like ended it was I mean the last movie actually was like an ending to basically everything that came thus far,
Yeah.
like the Daniel
Yeah.
Craig one specifically, but in a way like all of it in a way, like obviously that was the first time they ever killed James Bond, so
Yeah. No, and I think Daniel Craig deserved that ending. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
you got those movies. He deserved that ending. He got kind of that wrap up, and then launch into the next one.
Well, yeah, and it was fitting because it was even like the 25th movie and everything. So
Well, that's it. It all kind of wrapped up real nicely. And it'd be curious. And like I'm very curious to know what direction they'll go with Bond. Again, I feel I don't know. I feel like they should again go to the very start, or um, maybe do a Marvel thing. And he is already 007. He is already James Bond. So he's already got this is his second or third mission. James Bond year one.
okay, when you said a Marvel thing, I thought you meant like just like do spin-offs from the Daniel
No,
Craig
no,
ones or
no,
something.
no. Sorry, I meant like what they did with like Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like
Yeah, I
you
mean
don't
that's
need.
kind of what they've always done with James Bond to some extent. I mean, we kind of got I guess the only time they Daniel Craig we got like sort of an origin.
Mm.
But other than that, every other actor just kind of played him just starting like right in the thick of it, more or less.
Yeah. That's it. Like, will they do that again, or will they just do another prequel? James Bond Year One, where his name's just Jimmy.
Yeah, I know there are like some comics and stuff of like younger James Bond.
Yeah.
I think I have some of them, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still very nervous what they'll do with that, because that just sort of like, I felt like that was like the one mega kind of franchise that's still fully like I mean, whether everyone loved every single movie or not is sort of a different matter, but I felt like every movie had like a level of artistic integrity still that most franchises of that size have like lost by this point.
Like who?
What do you mean?
Who?
Oh, like what franchises?
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm not saying that they don't make good ones still, but like a lot of them have become like machines.
Yes. Yes.
You know, like,
And
well,
look,
I mean, obviously, I mean, I love Marvel, but obviously Marvel, like a lot of them just feel like products more than movies.
yes, and look, if
I
they
mean, Star
do,
Wars, I don't know, the Disney ones stand out, I've got to say. Even though some of them I think are great, but
yeah. Well, I from the last rumor I heard about James Bond is that they were interested in Daniel Craig to come on board and direct the next James Bond film because he wants. Sorry, not to, sorry,
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Okay, I was like, wait, what? I
Sorry,
don't think Daniel Craig's gonna suddenly be a director.
No, because if anything, he's going to slit his wrists again and complain about stepping on glass and everything about, being James Bond again. But yeah, with Christopher Nolan, I think.
I don't know. I'm skeptical of that though, because like we've been hearing about. Well, no. I'm not skeptical of like if he did it. I'm sure it'd be great. I'm skeptical of it happening.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because like I feel like the past I feel like more or less since Skyfall, there's been rumors. There was rumors then of like the one after Skyfall being Nolan. Like for like the past decade or more, there's been like rumors. Oh, the next one's gonna be Nolan. The next one's gonna be Nolan, and he's always like. Clearly, obviously, a part of him would like to do that, and I guess now it's because they think because Amazon's willing to give him full creative control, which
apparently
that's why people think it'll actually happen. But I don't know. I'm still skeptical.
Well, apparently that's the reason why. And the reason why is that the Broncos wouldn't give him full creative control, and I understand that if you aren't going to give me full creative control, then I don't want to do the movie. I don't want to make it. I don't want to spend the time making it.
Well, if
I can't. What was that?
Well, if you're Christopher Nolan, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Christopher Nolan isn't the director you make. Give him rules and everything. He's the type of director that you roll up a truck of money and you wait.
Yeah, but surprised, like I don't know. It's because like I think there might have been a time when Nolan might have been willing to like compromise just a little on that, and probably like because it's not like when I see the Bond movies, it's not like, especially the Daniel Craig ones, they do feel pretty like director driven. I think more than most franchise movies.
Maybe we should get Chadwick. I forget his last name. The guy who directed John Wick to do the next James Bond film.
No.
What do you mean?
No. Because I feel like like he's good at action, but like I feel like one of the things I like I don't know, I'm sort of mixed on the John Wick movies because like I feel like that's sort of all they have to offer, and I feel like James Bond has a lot more to it than that. Despite yes, they're an action movie, but sorry, I don't know, maybe unpopular opinion, but like yeah, I feel like there's like actual like more like, especially in the Craig ones, there's like more like, you know, character stuff that is going on than in John Wick.
The majority, like I'll play devil's advocate. The majority of the heart of the story of the main beat is in the first one.
Yeah, that's the one I like most.
Yeah,
that's like the one. I actually like that one quite a bit, and I remember being excited for the second one. The first one caught me off guard, and then And then I saw the second one, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I sort of just felt the same way about all the sequels since.
I've enjoyed, like I'm really like I'm looking forward to Ballerina.
I was, but I'm looking forward to it less now that they announced John Wick 5. And I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
I
okay, but you
know.
see what I mean? Like, whereas, like, in the last Bond movie, they killed him, he's dead, that's it. The last John Wick movie, they more or less said he was dead, and then they're just like, actually, no, he's not. Because guess what? The story doesn't matter in these movies.
No, not when you have someone like Mr. Wick, who's gonna, it's gonna be him, and he's gonna be killing people in the underworld because someone took his dog. Boom, there's the plot.
Well, I mean, that was the plot of the first one. I don't know what the plot of the rest of them have been.
They
Like, I
take
mean, I
two.
do, but,
They
like, you
take
know what I
two.
mean.
They take two of his dogs.
What do you mean, again?
Yeah, again, I don't know. I don't know what the plot will be.
Anyways, I just mean, like, I don't know if I wouldn't, the John Wick director, as good as he is at the action, he would definitely, like, how do you go from Christopher Nolan and then you go to that? It's like, I'm sorry, they're not, like, Christopher Nolan is like a good director all around. Those guys are good action directors.
Yeah, but I mean, like, well, if you strip it out, James Bond is an action movie. It's just action movie with style.
Well, no, John Wick has style too, but I'd say it's more than. I think there's
Gun fu.
more than just action. There's like interesting
Well,
like characters and stuff.
what else is in James Bond? What are you talking about?
Well, there's like, I don't know. There's more of like a kind of like,
You're only there for the sex and the action.
yeah. There's more of like a mystique to it
An
all.
aura.
I wouldn't say a lot of them aren't like extremely action heavy. Some are more than others,
No.
but like.
No, I remember. It's been a while, but I like Casino Royale. I thought Quantum of Solace was a bit half baked, but then the rest of them after that were good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, Quantum and Spectre are probably easily like the weaker ones of the Craig ones, but even like I don't know, I'm a big fan, so I don't
Skyfall was
really
good.
think there's an outright bad James Bond movie, but that's just me. Like I think
Skyfall
some
was
are
good.
way better than others, but even the weakest ones, I think that's what I mean when I say it's my favorite franchise. I think like each one, none of them feel like they were like these like compromised, like hacked to pieces like studio things, even though like they were always run by like a family. They're really like people, they're described to some extent as the biggest budget independent movies ever until now. Now they're owned by Amazon, like
Amazon.
The absolute opposite of that. So
yeah, get ready for spin-offs, get ready for prequels, get ready for Disney Plus TV shows.
Disney, Disney
sorry,
Plus.
Sorry, Amazon shows with ads. Get ready for all that. James Bond, Year One, James Bond. All the rest. That's all.
Like and it's weird because like, sorry, I know we're going on a long time. I don't think this was even one of the topics, but we just like kind of stumbled onto it, and it's like, oh yeah, we haven't really talked about this. But I was just gonna say, like, as a fan of that franchise, there's actually a part of me, sure, that's always wanted to see some of this stuff, like maybe a spin-off about other characters, or like in theory, I don't know which ones they'd actually do or not, but it doesn't matter even because I think I've realized like I've seen how that goes so wrong with so many other franchises and how it just dilutes them. And instead of making each like film an event, then you just kind of oversaturate people with all this other stuff. And like, yeah, it's just even if they're doing things I hypothetically might want, I know someone like or not someone, well, yeah, like a company like Amazon, they're gonna be doing it for all the wrong reasons.
Well, that's not true. Like Amazon did Fallout.
I feel like we've had this time. No, like yeah, but okay. I don't know how Fallout's supposed to give me confidence for James Bond. It's like wildly different.
No, but like I can't think of an Amazon project off the top of my head that they butchered horribly. I guess. Oh,
it's not about butchering it though. Even it's about like just like pumping it out. Making it content. And I feel like that franchise has always been above that. Maybe that's just my opinion, but
the times are changing, man.
yeah.
The times are changing. Which, speaking of times changing, to go back into the next news part, is that did you watch Wednesday when that came out?
Yeah. Actually, I watched it when I was in LA for the first.
Is it for a movie premiere?
No, well, it was for the first ever and so far only, as far as I know, like official put on by HBO, like Game of Thrones fan conventions. And yeah, it was like my one like time I did like a solo trip on my own. I just I went to there and was there for a week, and it was like basically the exact week that came out. So, and I just needed something. I was really like brain dead when I went to my hotel room each night after. And so I put that on. So I don't know how much of it I took in, but I sort of sat there like with my brain like or lied on the like bed in the hotel room.
Yeah.
And it felt fitting because I was there from like a Wednesday to a Wednesday. So,
but dude, how cool that is that you could just do that. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna go to LA for the weekend. Or I'm gonna go to LA for the week. Like that's so cool. If I want to do that,
no, I haven't like. Yeah,
house.
it's not like I've done that regularly. That's like the one time.
Oh, I know, but the fact that you have that option, like for us,
at the time,
for us, it's a mission.
Oh, you mean because of the distance? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna do.
Yeah, it worked out in a time where I found out that was happening. Couldn't convince any friends to go with me to spend all that money. It wasn't cheap, but I don't know. I found a reasonable kind of enough way to go, and I had enough money saved up though, like myself, that I could do it. And yeah, I don't have as much money now, so so that's my experience with Wednesday.
As long as you thought it was worth it, that is the main.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, it was cool.
But yes, we're getting Wednesday. Season 2 is finally coming this year. It's been broken up into 2 parts. We're getting part 1 on August the 6th and part 2 on September the 3rd. And the fact that it's, Wednesday blew up so much because of also the TikTok dance. But my question is, like, I'm going to watch season 2. It looks good. I'm ready to dive back into the world thanks to Tim Burton. I don't think it's going to be as well as the first season because they had the TikTok dance that blew it up. But I am excited for this season 2, which I feel like we've been waiting for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been thinking about it, but I am.
No, you've just been thinking about Tuesday, haven't you?
I don't know. I'm just, always waiting for Friday.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just. I don't know. I don't know. I don't honestly know if I'll watch this one. I sort of just like I said, just happened to kind of. I just needed something on, and I think in the hotel room like only had like access to Netflix. That was kind of it. So sort of just was like the thing to watch, and there was like I remember a girl sitting next to me on the plane was like watching it on her phone. Okay, I guess that's the thing.
You're like, I'll watch it with you.
No, I'm just saying like, no, it just put it in my mind enough, I guess, that I was like, sure, okay, I guess this is what I can have on the TV. Well, I'm like, it was easy to watch. Well, my like brain was much.
That's
I didn't feel like it required too much hard focus.
Not so much. I did like the murder mystery of it all, though. I did like that part. Which Dan on YouTube said I didn't love Wednesday as much as everyone, but it was fine. Like
honestly, like I know it was a big popular thing. I don't know if, from what I've heard, anybody like really thinks it's like that great. Do they? I mean, maybe some people, but like.
It wasn't amazing. It wasn't. I probably with you. I enjoyed it. I liked it. As I said, I like the murder mystery of it all. I just at the same time, which I think will like a lot of people, just the 2 to 3 year gap between seasons, just almost gets to the point where you forget the show.
Like some of them, it like makes sense a bit more, like The Last of Us or something. and that's only a 2-year gap or something. But or
Yeah.
like House of the Dragon, like stuff like that, I get. But like I don't know, it's just like all shows now, and like some of them are like even like the most basic shows. I'm like, why does this take like?
Yeah, I know.
Is it because they like take longer to greenlight them now because of how it works with streaming? I don't know.
I don't know it at all. And then there's a weird, like, I remember like early 2000s, like there was a season of a show every single year as the show was
I mean,
going.
even in the 2010s, pretty much.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I bring this up every time, but like Game of Thrones, came out every year
yes,
until
it
the last
did.
season.
And yeah, I know. And then we get the last season, and it's dismal and horrible.
Man, you haven't even seen it, but yes,
I don't need to see it. The internet's told me.
dude, there's so much wrong with that statement.
I know.
Don't listen to the internet.
No, I know, and are they're making a third season of House of Dragon, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's gonna go for 4 seasons, and I've heard the same thing about Last of Us, but I'm not sure. But we'll get into that, I guess.
Last of Us is going into a third season, yes. But the directors, the creators have made it a point that it will not go any further than the video games. That is it. Unlike Game of Thrones, it won't go any further than the video games. They will wrap it up. Which I agree with them. I'm like, if you're going to go further, then make another game. Don't be a stinge.
Yeah, I mean, Game of Thrones. It's not that they like just kept going past the story was over. It's just the story wasn't finished in the books.
Yeah,
They went to like
I know
the ending, the like roughly George R. R. Martin was planning, but they just didn't have all the nuance in between as much anymore to draw from.
No, but yeah. So season three will at this stage will conclude at the end of Last of Us Part 2.
Okay, because I thought that they said that. Yeah, no, I've heard that, but I swear I heard the showrunner saying something like they were thinking it's probably gonna go for 4 seasons, but I'm not sure what that 4th season would be.
Oh,
Unless they're splitting the second game up into 3 seasons.
well,
that would seem like stretched out at the pace they're going at.
That's what I mean. Like the first season encapsulated the first video game, and I understand that they turned Part 2 into 2 seasons, but
they're already getting shorter though too.
What was that?
The seasons are already getting shorter though. Like this season's 7 episodes only.
And the last season was 8 episodes, wasn't it?
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird number. I don't like these 9 episode seasons. I've got to say, like, make it 8 or make it 10.
I know, because it's like we wait all this time. I'm like, and it's over.
Yeah, no, I thought 10 was kind of the perfect kind of. Did I say this last week? I think I said this last week.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm repeating myself.
No, it's all right. Just going to side note, there's also in production at the moment there's going to be a Toys R Us movie.
Oh, man. Okay, my mom mentioned this, and I was like, even I hadn't heard this, and I'm like, I was wondering if that was real.
Yep, it's apparently it's real. It's meant to be in the same vein as like the Barbie movie, Back to the Future, or like Night at the Museum. Yeah, I know.
That's really weird though, because it's a store. It's not really a product.
No, and if you could pull back even more, I'm like, isn't that just Toy Story?
Yeah. I don't know what to make of that. It's sort of like, man, you haven't watched the studio?
No, it's on my list right now. Yeah.
It's literally like that's what it makes me think of. It's like in the first episode, they're like trying to make the Kool-Aid movie.
Or Sausage Party.
What about Sausage Party?
Have you seen Sausage Party?
I did see it like back when it came out, but like
Toys R Us in a shopping center type of thing. Like,
oh, is it going to be R-rated like Sausage Party?
I would love to see a Toys R Us R-rated movie. Like that would just be fucking wild.
I mean, I could almost see it happening now. Like, if they think it'll somehow make money, they'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
isn't there like an A24 Barney movie happening? I've heard about for a long time that I don't know what to make of.
I don't know. I know the fact that they'll try and make a Monopoly movie at one point.
I don't know. I feel like Barbie started something now though too, with like it's not even just like okay, the Lego movie proved you could like make a movie based off like something and actually like make it good. And then Barbie though was like, oh, but it doesn't even have to be like for the same demographic as the product. It's like it can just be for the memes, basically. That's kind of what it feels like.
A24 confirms a live-action Barney movie. Oh my god!
With Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. God damn.
Yeah, like what is that? I don't know what to make of that.
I don't know,
is Dan still in the chat? I'm curious what he thinks of that since he loves Barbie. I feel like this is all kind of spawning
Barbie's
from
great.
Barbie.
Barbie's great.
I think it's fine. I respect it in some ways, but I don't like. I can't say I think it's a great movie.
What? What are you talking about?
What?
That's on the same level as Oppenheimer.
I mean, look,
Barbie. No, you know exactly what I'm going to say. Barbie is still better than the Joker 2 by far.
I mean, look, obviously,
no contest.
Okay, obviously, most people would say so. I don't like. No, not for me though. Not for me at all. Like, I don't know. No, like, I thought Barbie was just kind of
Joker, Barbie, Joker 2.
I mean, like, I don't know, man.
No, you can't tell me. No, there's no way you could tell me that Joker 2 was better than Barbie as a movie.
I mean, I think its story is about as cohesive, if not more so, than Barbie's. I think Barbie's has like more random ideas thrown in that don't really gel. I think Barbie's like just a lot of stuff.
Better.
Huh?
The singing was better.
There's not really that much singing. There's like one song. It's not even like a proper musical. It's funny. I don't know, but it's not like, I don't know. And it's a sort of nice looking movie. I think, I don't know. Like one thing I'm always going to point to with Joker, I think it's visually beautiful too. I don't know. I think Joker looks better. Not that Barbie looks bad, but I just don't think it looks as great as Joker looks.
I think Barbie is more visually stunning to look at than the Joker.
Like the cinematography?
No. I meant physically.
Oh, you mean Margot Robbie?
Yes, I meant physically.
Okay, well now we're just comparing one Harley Quinn to another.
Oh yeah, well, still, her Margot Robbie's still better than Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn, that's for sure.
Oh, getting some Dan talk. Okay,
Dan says,
god,
I was like, what the hell were the Tories R Us a Monopoly? Yeah, I think the Monopoly movie is no longer moving forward, but that was in production at some point. And yes, singing was better in Barbie than the Joker 2.
I mean, yeah, but in Joker, some of it's sort of supposed to be like they're they're intentionally singing off key in Joker.
Are they?
Yeah, no. Lady Gaga had to learn how to sing worse, basically.
I feel like there's a comment there, but I'm not going to go down that road. But anyway,
I don't know, but like I don't know, and I'm in the minority obviously, but I enjoyed the singing in Joker, even though it's like off key and stuff. I found it like kind of hypnotic. I don't know, man. I enjoyed it. I liked Joaquin Phoenix, like in the context of the movie.
Barbie completely surprised me. I went in there with zero expectations, and I think just how everything worked together, the singing, and Margot Robbie's Barbie was really good. I would go back and I would watch Barbie over Joker 2.
Well, I mean, I watched Barbie 3 times, but I've watched Joker 2 4 times, so I don't know.
Really? I've not gone back and watched the Joker 2. I've gone back and watched the first Joker.
Yeah, no, I watched Joker 2 3 times in the theater, and I was like the only person in the theater the last time. And,
Damn, Barbie is a 10 out of 10 for me. The Joker 2 is a 5 out of 10, I think.
and I'm somewhere kind of more in the middle on both. Joker's, yeah, Barbie's like a 6 out of 10 for me, and Joker 2 is like a 9 out of 10.
Did we watch the same movie? I just don't.
For what it's worth, my parents also really like Joker 2.
I don't know, like the Joker 2.
I don't know, man. It just sort of. I think I'm just in that very small part of the Venn diagram of the likes all the different ingredients that went into that one.
Have you guys? Let's wait. Have you ever watched The Room?
I own it on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah. So I'm talking like there's The Room, there's Joker 2.
Well, what do you mean?
Like, as in, like bad, like movies I would not like bad movies.
They're not even. That's the thing. That's what I don't agree with people on Joker 2. I don't think like. Even if they don't like it, like it's not like there's too much about it that's like well done to really like say it's a bad movie, at least in the same way that like a lot of bad movies are bad.
No, and look, no, the thing
Like
is,
like just the fact that the Razzies nominated it for like it sort of like deflated people's whole argument. Then like as soon as like they're nominating Joaquin Phoenix for worst actor, like are you kidding me? For playing the same role that he won an Oscar for. Even if you don't like the direction they took the movie, like he's as good in the second one as he is in the first one, or at least not that far off.
No, he's good in that. He is good in that movie. Just,
yeah, I don't know, man. What can I say? I just preach the truth.
We have a whole episode debating on this. On this, we can't do another whole. We're meant to talk about Andor.
But it'll just come up in little bits every time I'm on.
Yeah, I know. I just can't believe you think that the Joker 2 is better than Barbie.
Man, there's so many other movies I think it's better than as well that I think are probably much hotter takes.
Yeah, I don't think it deserved the Razzies.
Yeah, I know Dan at least agreed with me on that.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, I think to me, from how the Joker, I'll probably be truthful. Maybe it just didn't hit my expectations. The fact of like how the Joker 2 ended, and this is the direction that he went in with Joker 2. I feel like it was almost like a fourth door option of like, hey, let's not do any of this, but let's go down this road because I want to go down this road, even though I know nobody will like it that I go down this road.
I mean, he didn't want to make a sequel, and to be fair, the original Joker is a pretty like different kind of take on the Joker to begin with.
It is, and
so I think he just went further down the same path he started on in the first one. And the first one was the right amount people liked, and they were happy to just leave it at that. But then it made $1 billion, so he was talked into making another one, and he just went further down that path, and he didn't like just I don't know. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, like we said, we've got a whole other stream.
Whole episode of it. All right, let's get into the main meat of why we're all here. Getting into Andor Season 2.
Spoilers, I guess, for Dan.
Spoilers, left, right, and center. So Andor Season 2, Andor first came out in September 2022. Now 3 years later, we're up to Season 2, which will lead us directly into Star Wars Rogue One, which is arguably one of the best Star Wars films that have come out. Bye, Dan. Dad, Dad just
Bye,
coming.
man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Thanks
past, man.
for hearing me go on about Joker again.
Again. um, but yeah, we've got season 2 of Andor, which this will lead directly into Rogue One, and then from there, from Rogue One straight into New Hope. So pretty much, yeah, you'll be able to go watch season 1, season 2, Rogue One, and New Hope in almost one massive sitting all together.
I mean, and
Uh,
every other, you can just I feel like that's just Star Wars. They're just making it so you can just fill in every gap ever.
Yeah, exactly. And what did you when Andor season 1 came out? What did you think of it?
I think I was kind of back and forth on it. In some ways, I thought it was really great, and then sometimes I just felt like there was like I felt like there was like maybe a little too many subplots.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, and there was just I felt like, and it would sort of say the same about this season so far. I do feel like it moves a bit too slow. Like when it's good, it's really good, and like in terms of like compared to most, like I'd say objectively, it's probably the best Star Wars show, like live action one at least.
That's debatable.
I mean, Mandalorian's maybe the most like fun, but like I don't know. Yeah, no, I mean, I think when Andor's at its best, it's the best one. At least from what I remember of season 1. Again, I haven't gone back to that season though, and I did feel a little like fuzzy. I watched the 15-minute recap on Disney Plus, but it was still a very just Cliff Notes kind of version of it, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess I was really back and forth on it. I remember like by the end getting pretty hooked in, but also every it's sort of one of those shows. Every time I would get really into with like one subplot, it would cut away to like some other subplot I was much less interested in. And I
It's
just feel
true.
like there's a lot of okay. Well, yeah, we'll get into season 2 in a sec.
Yeah. Keep
How about
going.
you?
The thing that got me with Andor was that it felt that I think it's the same gripe that with a lot of people will have is that it just took on such a long just felt like it took so long.
You mean the new season to come out?
No, like the first season, like it was 12 episodes long, but it was one episode a week. Like it just felt like it
Oh,
just
they didn't? I'm sure they doesn't Disney always done like 2 or 3 episode drops? So at least
oh
for the first ones,
uh
like for this, like obviously like for this season they
sorry.
did the first
So
3.
the first 3 episodes dropped, and then it was week by week by week by week by week by week.
I mean that is like how shows generally like worked until recently, but
Nah, no, I know, and but that's my only little gripe is that I do slightly agree with you. It did feel a little bit slow. It felt like every third episode was, oh fuck, this just happened
well,
or
yeah,
this
because like
happened.
every 3 episodes generally has been like an arc basically, so they've sort of treated it a bit like the animated shows in that way. Sort of did similar things, right?
Yes. So when they announced that season 2 of Andor was going to be dropping 3 episodes every week,
Oh,
I was really excited for that.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. So this Andor season 2 will be over in 3 weeks.
Oh wow. Okay.
um, will be over. And I really like I liked what I liked about season 1 of Andor is that there was no Jedi, there was no Force, there was nothing like that. We just got the dark and gritty, like the themes of Rogue One, which Rogue One to me is the only Star Wars film that actually feels like a war film. Like that's through a war film lens on how loss, going behind enemy lines, the mission, making sure of a wartime feel. and that's what I loved about season 1, especially how political it gets. It explores Mon Mothma so much on her political role, and seeing these characters again, kind of gut wrenching because you're like, and you're gonna cack it in a few years' time, unfortunately, in Rogue One, which is going to make it hard for season 2 because you're going to really like seeing these characters again, and then boom, we know what happens. And I agree with you. Andor to me is the second best show that's come from the Disney era. I have the Mandalorian in the same light I have as WandaVision, being this was the first Disney Plus Star Wars TV show. It was great from the get go. It starred the entire trend and was fantastic. And I will always have Mandalorian. I think that first season of Mandalorian is just so good. Going back into that, but after Mandalorian, I go to Andor. After Andor, I'd go to Obi-Wan. After Obi-Wan, I'd go to the Book of Boba Fett. Actually, no, back up. I'd go Skeleton Crew, then the Book of Boba Fett. Oh my god, no, sorry. Back up, sorry.
Ahsoka's
Mandalorian,
probably like third,
yeah,
I'd say.
yeah. Ahsoka is third.
Not that I don't know. I didn't like. Yeah, I don't know. I think the only like really two like solid ones are probably like Mandalorian and Andor, but yeah, Ahsoka was alright, and then I don't know. It's pretty downhill from there, I think.
Did you watch Skeleton Crew?
Oh yeah. That one's like so different though. It's hard to compare. I don't know. That one's like it was fun. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's hard to like. It's like so clearly like like it's like a family show. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, like a pocket story, really.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, but yeah.
I was like you when I heard the premise and everything. I was like, okay, this might be good, but no, I actually enjoyed the whole kids in space or like the Goonies type of feel with it. I really enjoyed it, and I like the whole idea, the fact that holy shit, there's a whole planet that's a mint for the old Republic, and all that aspect, and Skeleton Crew was a lot better than I expected. It's a darn shame I don't think they had much faith in it, but it was really good.
I thought it was good. I don't know if I'd say really good, but I thought it was good.
And Ahsoka, come on, we got more lightsaber battles, and the fact that Hayden Christensen returned, and that episode is fucking fire. That one episode.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
But and then well, get ready for season 2.
Yeah. Wait, so so you watched that, but you didn't watch like all the animated stuff before? Because that one's like a direct follow up to all of it.
I know. Andy from the Galactic Corp podcast, he is on my back, and he's like, how have you not watched the Clone Wars? How have you not watched Rebels? Did Ahsoka even make sense to you? And I was like, it did. Like, I know who Ahsoka is. I know the basic of her story. I've seen the last episode of Star Wars Clone Wars. Like, I've seen that. I just haven't gone back, and I haven't missioned it through the series. I remember I tried. I think I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was bored shitless.
That's how I felt in Bad Batch. I gave up on that one, but I don't know. I think I had a pretty good time with all of Clone Wars and Rebels. Like it was a little up and down. I don't know. And it's tricky too because with Clone Wars, they're not even like in order on Disney Plus. Like you have to look up the proper order to watch them in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like what was that?
Because they're in the order
Firefly?
that they aired on TV, and they didn't. They aired all out of order. I don't know why.
Oh,
like there'll be like
maybe that makes sense. Maybe that makes sense why the first 2 episodes of Clone Wars I was confused.
Yeah. You gotta actually like look up the order to watch them in because it's literally like season. It could be like season 3, episode 10. It's like you watch that one and then go watch season 1, episode 12. Like, that's how it
Really?
is. It's like completely insane. And then once you get to like the later seasons, it sort of starts to level out a bit. And then they start to kind of be in order more and more towards the end.
Well,
But like, yeah, the last season of
Ha!
Clone Wars, from what I remember, like that was the best Star Wars
Uh,
Disney Plus content ever, I think.
oh yeah, right. Below you will find a list of the entire series, listed the official subscription order with links to watch. The Star Wars Clone Wars Chronicle episode order to watch the in, and it's like episode 216, 116. Watch the movie, and then watch episode 301, 303, 101. Oh my god!
It's insane. Maybe if you try it like this, you'll get more into it.
Like even I don't even know. Like literally, it says here, watch 222, then jump straight to 305.
Yeah, yeah. I guess. Yeah. No. Yeah. You kind of. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't make any sense if you're just watching it in the order that it has there.
That's he's never told me that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, huh? Andy never mentioned that, eh?
No, he never mentioned it, and that makes so much more sense. Because I remember watching the first 2 episodes, being like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know how they like. I don't know why that's the case. It's pretty insane, but like apparently that's the order it aired in. Like this nutty out of order. Like I don't even know how that came about, but it's like it's not even like close. It's not even like it's like hopping all around constantly.
No, and the fact that the movie is 3 down instead of being at the very start, which is I'm pretty sure the movie is what kicked it all off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Huh. All right, I'm gonna go and abuse him after this episode gets recorded.
Hey, maybe this is finally what's gonna get you into it. Maybe you'll watch it in order and be like, "Oh, okay, this kind of good now."
Yeah. Oh, it actually makes fucking sense now. Yeah. All right, I'll get into it, but okay, sorry, go back to Andor. Yeah, so it's going to be very gut wrenching going into, but we've got director Krennic returning for this season, and we do have K2S2 also coming into the show as well. How did you feel after the first 3 episodes going back into this world?
I felt pretty good after the first one. Then I felt like the latter 2, I started to feel like that maybe even more severely than I did in season 1. Like, oh, okay, there's like a lot of stuff that really like doesn't, as far as I mean, maybe I'll feel differently when it's all done, but like as far as I can tell, it feels like there's a lot of like random stuff just kind of in here and things being drawn out longer than they need to be. That's my big takeaway.
What did you feel? Well, what did you feel like was random?
Like, maybe not random is not the right word, but like just like I don't know, like the stuff with the guy's mom, and like,
I
was like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. Is this really gonna tie into the like his like? Do we need this much of this stuff? I don't know.
I feel like I like that scene. I feel like that's more a reflection of the type of person we're dealing with, Dedra. And just I feel like that's just showing you just the type of person she is. And what going to a little bit into that scene, I do like that we find out a little bit more about her backstory and what she was like in Imperial Kindergarten. And when she's like, well, you didn't have a mother's love, and she just turns around and goes, we didn't know what we're missing. And you're like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, I get that it's like there for character development reasons, but I just like, yeah, my big takeaway is I feel like, and that's sort of how I felt with a lot of the first season, but like you're saying, like a lot of these like arcs like could just be like, instead of 3 episodes, they could be like I don't know, 2 or maybe in some cases even like 1 episode.
Hmm.
Like I feel like they just like I don't know. There's just like and then there's I don't know. And then there's like the scene with like obviously in the 3rd episode, the one like where is it? Is it Bix? Like Andor's girlfriend, like
Yeah.
almost gets like
Oh yes. Which yes. I was that I was not expecting that scene, but at the same time, it makes sense because we're in wartime. We're in wartime, and it shows you how despicable the Imperial. Uh,
Yeah, it's not even that I'm like it's not it didn't feel as out of place to me as the mom scene, but
oh,
it still felt like just kind of like just I mean there's just like a lot of things in there that just felt like I don't know, I don't feel like they're gonna tie that much into the bigger plot. They could, maybe I'm wrong, but like I don't know. Maybe I guess my big takeaway is like as much as I like certain characters and I'm into like things about the show, I feel like there's just like a lot of characters that like I spend way more time with than I'd like to.
well, which I mean, obviously you don't like Dedra's mom. That's on the table. And I understand that.
Well, no,
How did
that's the other guy's mom. What's that guy? What's that guy's
Cyril,
name?
Cyril?
Yeah, no, that's his mom, right?
Yeah, that's his mum. Yeah,
Yeah.
which he goes to go cry in the bedroom and comes back, and yeah, that's that's it. But and we do get a good action scene at the very start with Cassian stealing the new prototype TIE fighter, which we do get to see, and then we get to see him land on the planet with the rebel crew that kind of does the whole like, no, you move first, no, you move first, oh, we'll take the ship, or we'll take the pilot type of scene.
Yeah, so
That
was that was one thing I was unsure of. Were they like all like was that one group or they were like and then they like mutinied or
Yeah, it was one group and they mutinied because he said the fact that we got 15 guns trained in you, and it's like, don't tell him we have 15 guns on him.
yeah, so
Yeah,
it
so
was just
that
literally
was
it
all.
was that one guy who was like arguing with the leader guy and then they okay, I was a little unsure even like why. I don't know, and that's another thing. That goes on for like I thought it was cool him stealing the ship. That was cool.
Yeah.
And then he like lands here and then there's like this like whole long thing for 3 episodes and then they like it ends up coming down to like rock paper scissors.
Oh, I know. I really like yeah. What did it remind me of? Um. Have you seen Dodgeball
I
with
mean I
Ben
know it
Stiller?
but I don't know, I saw it maybe a long time ago, I don't really know.
There's a scene where like Ben Stiller's team, they're the Vipers, and like, as they come out, they're like, like to be Vipers, and like that's the first thing I thought of when they were doing the.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So as much as I'm so back and forth on the show because like when it's like good and like because the whole thing appeal of the show is that it's like kind of more adult and a more like kind of serious take on Star Wars and everything. But then sometimes it's just like out of nowhere, it's just these things. I'm like, well, okay, now that like they're playing rock paper scissors, and then now it's like a sitcom thing with the mom, and I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, with the like it's little things like that. Is like, where do we really need?
It's like imagine how good the show would be if it was like we're saying some shows are like too short, but yeah, I feel like this one's like both
Too
seasons
long.
or just this season already. It seems like is like longer than it needs to be, and it's like man, if they just cut out all the BS, this would be awesome.
This would be great. But we need the character development. And that's why we need the rock paper scissors. This is character development for Cassian. How did you? I do feel for Mon Mothma. Yeah, Mon Mothma. Jesus. We get to see that Luthen's got some financial troubles and he's looking to f her over. and I'm just gonna stuff you around because I need some money, and we get to see that she has a really hard time dealing with that, and also dealing with. Because actually, that's the part I forgot. I forgot the fact that she gave her daughter to marry the other dude's son for
Yeah,
everything. Like
that was
I
to
forgot
like
about that
get
part.
his support, like money wise, I guess.
It was because it was money wise because the fact she's funding all the rebel stuff in the background with Luthen and
And then
uh,
like is
what?
suddenly just like also helping out, and then he's suddenly just like I'm like gonna like blow a whistle basically on you if you don't give me more money. That's kind of what was happening there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, uh, pretty
And then
much.
Luthen's like basically telling her, okay, I know this guy's like your longtime friend, but now that he said that, we pretty much have to kill him.
Kill it, which we get to see the return of Cinta in episode 3, where she drives him
Okay,
off, and I'm
I
like,
remembered I remembered the character. I don't remember like what. I guess like it's been a while since I saw season 1, so I don't remember
she
like where things ended off with a lot of them, and like what why is she like a
she
pilot for this guy now? And
no, she's a secret. She's not actually his pilot. She literally took the other guy, took his uniform to go take him.
oh, okay,
Uh, she was part of the crew when they did the heist in the middle of the season when they did the heist episode at the dam. The
hmm,
dam, yeah, she was part of that.
I vaguely remember that, but like, okay, so what's her relationship to the guy she's posing as his?
Nothing. She's gonna kill him.
Okay, and that was
She's working for Luthen.
oh, okay, that makes sense now. Okay, so he got okay, okay, that makes sense. That's
Yeah,
one thing majorly cleared up. That okay.
yeah. No, she works for Luthen, and then she's got rid of the other guy. I think Tay's driver, and then she's taken over him to go knock him off.
Okay. Okay.
Which when I did see her, I was like, "Ooh, you are a dead man. That car's gonna crash or something. You're not gonna see
Okay.
anything."
So and then so okay, I didn't get that. So I guess it wasn't just that she was when she was getting drunk dancing, it wasn't just that she was like stressing about having to like decide about killing him. It was that okay, he's getting killed now.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what Luthen. That's basically what Luthen. So it's I can't think of the right word, but pretty much it was her dancing to show that her madness of everything that's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Like,
And like I get what they were going for with the intercutting, but like I felt like even again like that like was like I felt like there was like just so many it cut back so many times intercut to her just dancing. And then
mm,
I was expecting more to like come from that at the end, and then it just kind of cut to black.
yeah, basically showing that her daughter's going to go marry someone she doesn't actually love, and she's feels terrible for her daughter, but she needs to obviously remain her position of power. And she's obviously Luthen's just knocked off one of her friends that she thought would never betray her, but he's going to because of the fact he's got financial troubles and his wife's left him. And basically, he's a piece of shit.
Wait, who did he knock up? The one that was like
Oh, he
okay,
doesn't.
the one that was like walking with her up the mountain.
Yeah, Ty. Yeah, the guy that has been bugging her for 3 episodes to talk, and he's the one who's going to die. Tay.
Okay, I'm lost again.
So the
Any
guy.
Star Wars fans watching this, they're like, "Why is this guy the guy you got on to talk about Andor?"
Tay is the guy that Cinta drove to kill, and the reason
Yeah,
why
isn't
he
that
was
the guy that was blackmailing her?
yes,
Okay.
he was blackmailing her because of the fact that he's made some bad financial investments, he's going broke, and his wife's left him.
Oh, okay. No, okay. I got okay. Maybe okay. Okay.
He's dead. He's gonna die. That's it. That's all you need to
Yeah.
know. He's
Okay.
yeah. And
Gotcha.
I did not actually care the fact that he was gonna die. I'm like, nah, you deserve it. How could you do this to Mon?
Yeah. No. Okay. I got that. I thought you were talking about Luthen was having troubles or something.
Luthen's having an affair. No, Luthen's not having an affair.
Yeah, I was like confused about that.
No, and I do also feel that Luthen's going to cark it at the end of this season. I feel like you're going to die.
I mean, and probably like a lot of the characters are gonna die, right? Because most of them aren't in Rogue One. I mean, not that that necessarily means they're dead, but like I feel like there's a decent chance of that.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And
people are talking about how like, from what I've heard, apparently this season does like end on quite a like, I don't know, like I've heard people call it like incredible, but like I imagine some of that's to do with like a lot of shocking things happening.
oh well, the only people that I think the only people we're really like knowing the fact aren't going to die is well, obviously Cassian, Mon, and what's his name? K2S2 isn't going to die, but Dedra, Cyril, Lix, Luthen, they're all up for the chopping board.
I guess
Really, Cinta, Val.
the one guy already did die too that was with Bix.
Yeah, yeah. Brasso, which was, I felt bad that he died because he was just trying to do the right thing, and that's the thing. That's another thing is, it shows you that people in this time are willing to just give up other people because it's wartime, and people just don't want to help the other person because they're scared and afraid because of what the Imperial Army is going to do because they're doing these random checks. And everyone's heads on the chopping block, really.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, and director Krennic is also, those.
Oh yeah.
Four
Was
characters.
he wasn't in the first season at all, was he?
No, he wasn't the first season. No,
because I was like that was probably like my favorite part of the show so far. When he showed up, I was like, oh okay.
Yeah, I know about
Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, about absolutely massacring this entire of the Gormans.
Oh yeah.
For which I quote, he says the line, "For unlimited power." Did you get that reference?
That was a reference?
Because Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, when he's killing Mace Windu, he's like unlimited power.
Okay.
As Mace Windu out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. Is Revenge of the Sith back in theaters for you there?
It is. I haven't bought tickets yet, but it is. And it's funny you actually mentioned that. I saw a report that for a movie that's being re-released has a projected of like 30 million worldwide box office projected for a re-release movie.
Yeah,
it's probably it's the best one it's the best one that's going to make that money.
You mean like of the prequels, or?
I think out of all the Star Wars films, I feel like that's the one that will make that money.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Cool, yeah, because like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess I mean, like the original trilogy is still like the most like beloved, but yeah, maybe not. But that one's still more recent enough that it resonates more with the age group that's going to the theater the most. You think?
Yes, 100%, and it's everyone, like, for example, like people of our age who have kids are going to be taking them to go see this movie that I saw this when I was a similar age to you or when I was a teenager, so I want to take my kids to go see this. And it's the most. What was that?
It was the first Star Wars movie I saw in the theater.
Yeah, same with me. First
and only one for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I did see the Clone Wars movie too, if that counts.
Yeah, that does count. But it's the most pivotal Star Wars film in the entire franchise.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. No, it's definitely like I think it's easily other than outside of the original trilogy. I think it's easily the best one.
It is.
Yeah, like, and I don't know, I'd go back and forth even between like whether I'd put it like fourth or third between it and Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that's another debate. That's another debate right there.
Oh, you're not for that, or
I am for, like, I don't know. The thing is, my Revenge of the Sith for me is like 1 or 2 for me.
oh, okay, it's higher. Okay,
It's higher. It's higher. It's 1 or 2 for me because it's like, I know how people feel about the prequels and everything, and obviously the original trilogy. To me, that film is the absolute tipping point of Star Wars. What connects the original prequels to the original trilogy? You know, that's what starts the entire thing off. You know, and that leads into, technically, yes, it leads into Rogue One, but also leads into a New Hope. What was It's funny you actually mentioned this because I did see recently an interview with Hayden Christensen where he said he was mentioning a particular order that you should make your kids watch the films, and he said, how did he say? He said, make the kids like watch 1, 2, go through all the Clone Wars, go through all of that, go through the Clone Wars, all the TV shows, then watch, um, then watch 4, 5, and 6. Oh, sorry, watch 4 and 5, then watch episode 3, and then watch episode 6.
yeah, I mean, but what, like, is that to like avoid the spoiler? But like,
No, his thing was the fact that you get your kids to really, to fall in love with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and all of them, and then fall in love with them because you're watching the Clone Wars. Then you watch episode 4 and you find out that Anakin was killed by Darth Vader, and you'd be annoyed and you'd be angry.
oh yeah, I
And
guess that is how they phrase it, right? Yeah, that he's,
yeah,
yeah, I guess, okay, true, yeah.
and
So
then
yeah, exactly. So it would prevent the spoiler of him being his father.
that's it. You get angry, and then you watch episode 3 and you're like, holy shit. Then you watch, you watch
And
episode
then
5.
you watch Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and then episode 6.
Oh God, no! God, no! You never watch. You never watch 8 or 9. I don't think I'm even going to tell my kids to watch.
I like, yeah, I like 8 a lot.
No, no. No, I'd be like, just watch 1 to 6. Watch Rogue One. Watch Clone Wars. Watch Andor. Watch Mandalorian. Watch Ahsoka. But you can leave the sequel trilogy out of it. If you want to watch real disappointment, you can watch that.
I mean, for me, it was just the last one that was really disappointing. But I was like loving. I like loved Last Jedi when I saw it. I was one of those people.
I know you were one of those people. 100%. I know you were one of those people.
You're not surprised.
Nope, not at all. I was talking to. It's funny. I was at a wedding last night. I was making the same conversation. What annoys me about the sequel trilogy is that you can clearly see the lack of direction of a sequel. Like, for example, the first one, you see the overall arc. You see what happens when a director watches the entire trilogy all together. And then what happens with the prequels, like the same all over together, and then you get the sequel trilogy, which A New Hope, The Force Awakens, which kicks it off so well, and then you get the next 2, which are just fumbling down the stairs trying to pick up the pieces.
I don't know. I think even if you're not a fan of Last Jedi, though, it's not really fair to lump it in with Rise of Skywalker, because at least, like, I think it's like a confidently like made movie, where Rise of Skywalker is the one that just felt like it's like doubling back and trying to just play it safe and then making nobody happy.
Are you trying to tell me the fact that the only Star Wars film that where 2 lightsabers don't touch is a confident film?
I don't know. Sure, I don't really care. It had like one of the coolest battles ever, anyways. Like that involved lightsabers, even if they didn't touch. Like with the with that red army
Oh,
guard.
yeah.
That was awesome. I think it actually might be the nicest looking Star Wars movie.
With Rey with a mullet.
That's not a mullet.
Oh, it looks like a mullet.
Okay, I'm talking about this again, cinematography.
Oh, I guess you're talking about the cinematography with Kylo Ren's high pants. That's what you're talking
about like the way the shots are composed and like the
you're talking about how the rebel guy picks up the stand and eats it and goes, oh, it's sand. Is that the part you're also talking about?
I don't even remember that part, but oh yeah. Yeah, it was cool. The planet like, where the sand's like red under.
Yeah.
Oh, got Jack Russell going crazy.
Yeah, he's going off. He's going off about something. But yeah, no, I just didn't enjoy a lot. It was almost like, hey, he's
with one of us, but I'm not sure which one.
He agrees with me because he's my dad. Here's me.
So he's yelling at me.
Yeah, basically he's saying the last Jedi is awful. But what were your highlight? Like, what did you really like from these 3 episodes? Do you think that the Andor season 2 kicked off the series well? Like, here's the characters. Here we are. Here's some deaths. Let's go into hyperdrive.
I think it like almost kicked it off well. Like, if they like just like condensed all of that, like I was saying, like I don't know. Like again, I felt like it was just like too drawn out. But what did I like?
Yeah, what did you actually like?
I liked seeing Krennic.
I think. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Going back, what a tangent that was. Yeah, so we get that scene with him talking about.
Oh yeah, that's how we started this whole thing.
Yeah, that's how we started going down.
I was like, what reference?
Yeah. Sorry, going back to talking about the fact that this is where we see Deadshot for the first time, and we see them talking about how this is what's going to, what they're going to do to the Gothmans, and what will be happening.
Okay, so yeah, talking about how they're gonna do like the propaganda.
Yeah, the propaganda video. Yes. So and you're gonna have to say goodbye to the Gormans. Bye. So I shoot that will be a pivotal point in this series of what we're going to see happen to those planet and to those Gormans.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I wish like more of the scenes were like that, like and like they're actually like because I just feel like just shitting on it, but just like it's just like I don't know. There's a lot of other shows where I feel like the character development, like kind of dialogue scenes, are still like a bit more like tied into the plot than some of these ones. Like I don't know. I just again we'll see. Maybe the mom stuff's really gonna like come full circle, but I just right now it just feels like it's like I don't know. We didn't really need more of the mom. There was enough of him and the mom and him eating cereal in season 1.
The mom's just annoying.
Yeah, I don't know what her deal is. Like she's just like I don't know.
Yeah, she's just annoying. That's all it is. And but no, I feel like there's a couple of things they could have trimmed. I'm with you on that, and I am looking forward to seeing where this goes. Obviously, we know there's going to be a lot more deaths on the table. I look forward to seeing more Director Krennic, seeing what's going to happen with that, seeing what's going to happen with the Gormans, just how brutal that's going to be, and seeing where this is going to how this is all going to just wrap up nicely, going straight into Rogue One.
I'm just curious, like since we were mentioning Revenge of the Sith, sorry, I know all the Star Wars like hardcore fans will like just be annoyed that I don't already know this. But like, where does this like? Have we like passed like that like Order
Oh,
66 stuff?
we're so past. We're so past.
Was the whole show always past that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Okay, never
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. We're really close to Rogue One and New Hope. We're on that end
Okay,
of the
so yeah,
spectrum.
oh yeah. Okay, I'm feeling really dumb right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, no shit.
We're
No, because I was just gonna say like, how can we like, like it would be cool if we got some Darth Vader in the show.
Yeah. No. So basically, the Obi-Wan TV show, that's on the end of the Revenge of the Sith, where Andor season 2 is on the end of the New Hope. Like that's the spectrum of time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Rogue One's happening right. Well, not the end of A New Hope, isn't it? Because Rogue One's going right in before A New Hope.
Yes, that's right. That's what I mean. So Andor season 2 is on the end, closer to A New Hope.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. I guess almost Obi-Wan's almost in the middle, really. It's like halfway between Revenge of the Sith and halfway to A New Hope because Luke's just a kid.
Okay.
So there's still another 10.
Were like so? Did they say like what he's like had to steal that one ship for though, and like and why he wasn't like, and then also okay, but this I'm guessing we'll find out what the plan was for that ship.
Yeah, well, it was a,
and he wasn't. It wasn't even the one he was like trained to fly. So like, I thought that was pretty funny. Like
but
funny and also intense. How he like had absolutely no idea how to fly it or use it.
No, and I'd say it's very significant because of the fact that it was an prototype Imperial ship.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but season two of Andor kicks off pretty strong. I'm curious, the fact that the next 3 weeks it's going to be over. It's going to be over, but as Eric would say, they can definitely trim the fat. I'm curious to see if they probably won't, but see how these characters will end up and who's going to be left standing and not dead. That's the next question. But speaking of dead,
for all we know, a lot of them could all be alive and get their own spin-offs still, and
yeah.
But we'll say sure. I'll agree. It started off strong.
Rogue One is the spin-off.
Oh no, I meant like the other characters in Andor that weren't in Rogue One.
Yeah, they're gonna be in New Hope.
No, but like the other, like I don't know, like the other characters, like Bix or whatever, like the ones that are just in the show.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might have a whole Bix show.
Yeah. I don't think we need that. I don't think we need to see that at all. But
that's exactly the kind of thing Disney Plus loves to deliver.
I know they do. But speaking of deaths, let's talk about the biggest death in the past week. Which, Eric, you've got something to talk about. Like, what don't you like about the most significant death in 2025?
What don't I like?
Yeah, because you said the fact that you had you had words about this.
Oh, actually, all my words for this one are pretty positive.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought this was the best episode of The Last of Us so far, like the whole show. Like just like I mean, obviously the death is shocking, but I knew it was coming soon, and I'm happy that they like. Unlike some other shows we may have just talked about, I'm happy that The Last of Us is not like beating around the bush, and it's getting to the point each episode, and kind of getting to like where it needs to be to like move the story forward. Yeah. But even aside from that, like the whole episode was like that whole battle and stuff is not in the games. Because you're not like in Jackson when I can't remember if they like allude to something like an attack happening there at that time, but you're not like it just makes sense in the context of like in a game you can only play from so many characters' perspectives, and you're not playing as anyone who's like in the town at the time. So that's why these games and stuff actually like translate really well to like an HBO kind of style show, or like a show, but like HBO is just kind of the ideal version of it. But yeah, it's cool because then they get to add stuff like that, and so even though even for like people who play the games, it's like it was this like whole kind of unexpected spectacle, and it was actually very reminiscent of a certain episode of Game of Thrones, I would say.
I don't,
Which actually
I don't know
fun.
Which episode? I don't know which.
Well, I know you don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But no, but even it was interesting because it's like basically, without saying too many spoilers, it's like the first big battle with the White Walkers in Game of Thrones, which I guess, do you know what the White Walkers are? Or?
I know what the White Walkers are,
Okay.
and I know the fact that apparently the whole battle was subpar and very short.
Oh no! That's I'm not talking about that battle.
Ah,
because that's like the final battle with them. I'm talking about the first time they come on this, the first like group time you really like have a battle with them. It's in like season 5.
Alright.
And actually, it was similar in a lot of ways because it was, well, obviously, it was the fact that it was snowy too made me think of it more as well.
White walkers, white snow. I can see the connection.
Oh no, but they're in the snow too, also.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
No, and even but what's it called? The actor who plays Tommy literally even like posted a side by side thing on his Instagram, like comparing like different shot for shots from this episode to that battle in Game of Thrones that I'm talking about.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so it's like it's not just me. It's very much like a thing, and yeah, and I don't know. So it's cool. I think it's cool to see Tommy getting like kind of. I think he's already getting to be like, he's getting more focused than he did in the game. So I think as much as it's like, okay, so the big death, which we're going to talk about in a sec, but like, I feel like it's going to help the fact that we're like also getting more invested in Tommy, and he had such a cool episode. Like, I think we'll be more invested in him post what happens to someone a little close to him.
Yes. Which, golf season is upon us.
Yeah, so yeah, I was expecting, I was like, I hadn't heard much, but just after seeing the first episode, and I thought the first episode was great as well. Like, it was slower, but I thought it was like perfect kind of setup. Good. And sort of, yeah, just like the first season, I think the show's so good at just like they stick more or less very closely to the games. There's so many shots where it's like, oh, it's right out of the game, but then at the same time,
yeah,
they're not really changing so much, but they're filling in these kind of gaps that really just didn't make sense to have most of the time in the games, but in a show, it's like the perfect kind of medium to like kind of fill out more areas because again, you're seeing more perspectives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was just I don't know. I thought they just delivered such a banger, like crazy all-time episode of the series. It was just kind of like it was just great, like from beginning to end. It obviously all people are talking about is the ending, but like that whole episode was, it was like up there with some of those really crazy Game of Thrones episodes.
It was a great episode. The first episode of season 2 was also great, and one of the good things about The Last of Us, which really shows, is this what happens is when you get the original creators of the video game involved in it, and you see the reflection of what it's going to. The fact that you've got the same guys who wrote and directed video games are directly in this TV show, and it shows you. It shows, and everything. It's interesting because, like, same thing with the season with the couple of guys in season 1. The fact that, hey, we got this whole extra story that's not in the video games, but you only saw a rumor about it, not the rumor, but it was mentioned, but not the entire season, and you see how good that is. So everything extra they're adding is just filling in the story and making it even more richer. And yes, Tommy wasn't there when
Okay, I actually didn't even remember if he was there in the game
he
or not.
wasn't.
But so
That whole
he
battle,
was with Joel. That's what
he
I.
was with Joel. Yeah. So
Okay, I totally forgot that, but I heard that recently. I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah, he was with Joel at the time. And that's a thing. I was speaking to my mates is that like, well, because he hasn't seen that death scene, like, how is his revenge storyline going to go? Is it going to be as strong, or what's going to be different with that, with his side of the story? We've seen clips of the episode next week of him looking at Joel's body. And before anyone does panic, Pedro Pascal is still going to be appearing throughout the season 2.
Yeah, well, because I guess they're. I mean, and like the game too, it's sort of even told like there's a lot of flashbacks after
Yeah.
he's killed. So, and that's why I was wondering going into the season. I thought maybe they would just like tell it almost like in chronological order, maybe, and just pick up like right where the first season ended, rather than doing the time jump and like just sort of going through more or less the flashbacks and filling in some more stuff, and maybe like ending the season with Joel's death or something.
Well,
I thought they might
initially,
do something like that, but I'm happy they went the way they did with this because I feel like
yeah,
it's so much more like to the point and gets things
yeah.
going. And yeah, just I
Well,
don't know, just on so many levels. And I know this means nothing to you, but it just reminded me of Game of Thrones in so many ways because there's two best seasons of Game of Thrones have like two of the some of the craziest episodes are like it's like episode 1 kind of gets you back into it, remembers everything, and then episode 2 just like throws you some crazy curveball, and you're like, oh, okay, the whole thing just changed now.
yeah.
And
Well, it's funny how you say that, because that's what I thought was going to happen with this season 2 to season 3. I thought that his death was going to be the last episode of the season, and then season 3 would have been Ellie going on the hunt.
yeah, but there's I don't know, it's a long game, right? There is a lot of stuff they
could do.
fill out for the rest of especially when they're even like, yeah, if they're only 7 episodes or who knows what season 3 will be. Probably be shorter if anything.
They can't go any shorter. Like, they can't.
Could be 5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah, I know. But no, even like the whole fight, like the whole fight at the camp was good going into that, and the fact that they were, the infected were using the dead bodies of their comrades to be underneath the snow. I'm like, that's creepy as shit.
Yeah, and I just thought it was funny. Like, I don't remember exactly how it played out in the game, but like, because again, you don't really see all that going on. But like, I can't remember if a lot of the stuff with Abby was all like right out of the game, like the stuff with the fence and everything.
Yes, that was right.
I
from the
remember,
game. Yes.
but I can't remember if her like setting off. I don't think that. I guess that thing with her like disturbing that whole thing of infected. I guess that wasn't. I don't remember because obviously there's. But I just find it funny. It's like, okay, so like there's even like people are gonna hate Abby even more in the show. It's like because she's not only responsible for Joel's death, she's the one that basically made that whole thing happen.
Yeah,
when you think about it,
partially did it.
Partially, I mean, she's the one that set it off.
No, it wasn't. No,
No,
she's the one who woke them all up. But it was because they broke the pipe. Remember?
Was that why? Like
that?
Was that like called them there?
Basically, yeah. A, that broke the pipe that called them there. But B, she disturbed the giant pile of them sleeping on the snow that turned them into the swarm that came attacking.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So like ultimately, she set it off.
The big fight she set off, yes, but they were going to come. They were going to come after the town.
Okay. But before we move on, I have one more actually important thing with why it's kind of also like a lot like that specific thing in Game of Thrones, though.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But because also aside from it, just like visually and like a lot of the shots, like being a lot like that one first battle with the White Walkers, but also it's a similar thing even with how it relates to the source material for both of them, because that's also was another instance that battle was like a surprise to book readers, because that didn't actually like happen in the book. Like main character, like, who's there in the show wasn't at that location in the book, and it's just, like, alluded to something happening there. And then in the show, it's like this whole thing. It's like the craziest episode of the series up to that point.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of parallels to Game of Thrones.
But it's better than Game of Thrones, though.
I mean, I love both. Like, you know, I'm gonna pick Game of Thrones.
I know you are. But no, and just I have been loving seeing the reactions on the people on the internet of the people who haven't played the games and are experiencing this scene for the very first time.
I mean,
going,
even
oh my god.
I mean, I was just gonna say though, like, I mean, I'm sure you've already people have already probably thrown this out there a lot, but I mean, the two leads, both of them broke out in Game of Thrones. That was like their breakout roles for both the leads in the show.
What do you mean? For who?
Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. They're both both of them were in Game of Thrones, and that was like their big break.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant The Last of Us was their big break, and I was like, what? No. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying that's what I mean.
Game
So
Thrones,
like they were both only in a handful of episodes each, but they were both quite memorable characters.
Yes, and they're both in Game of Thrones. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, just seeing the reaction of people from the internet, because it is a bit surprising the fact that she that the fact A, it's Pedro Pascal, B, it's only the second episode of season 2 and he's been killed off in a brutal way with a broken golf club stick back to the neck of just
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling like going into this week that it was like gonna be the episode where it happened. After seeing where it left off in the first episode, I was like, oh, okay, they're moving like right along to like where that's gonna happen. So I was like, I didn't hear many people like speculating on it, but I was just like, I'm pretty sure this is like gonna be the one. So, and then it was, and
I assumed it was going to be the one, and I hadn't seen.
You were correct.
I was correct, but what was it? I think I saw someone's tweet. I quickly looked a bit away, and it was someone just going, "Holy fuck!" And I was like, "All right, that's all I need. That's gonna be the episode. That's gonna be the one."
I usually try to watch them like live right when they drop. So like, I mean, I know that's trickier for you, in your time zone.
It is.
But yeah, I remember I was almost like kind of tired last Sunday. I was almost like, oh, maybe I'll wait. And then I'm like, oh man, even though I knew that was gonna happen, I'm just like, it was nice to like go into it and not actually know for sure, like other than just suspecting it was gonna happen for all the obvious reasons of like having played the game and seeing where they kind of got to already in the first episode. But it was still like that just added even more like to that whole crazy battle. I'm like, so is it gonna happen this episode? I'm like, oh, like yeah, whenever it cuts back to Pedro, I'm like, oh, we're getting closer. And then like midway through the episode, I'm like, okay, this is clearly like this is how it's gonna end. Yep, and people are gonna lose their minds.
And they did. The entire internet.
It's just a repeat of 5 years ago all over again when the game came out.
Yep. And from the gaming side, now we're getting it from the TV version, and they did a really good job. I'm so excited for the rest of the season and where this is going to go. You know, there's where are we? We are currently going. We've got 5 episodes left. This is going to wrap up on May 25th. We'll see the last of that. Moving forward. And seeing how that's going to be the last part of it. But, you know, what's going to be the pivotal thing at this ending of this to lead into season 3? I'm curious now because I thought
so much shit happened in the second game. I'm trying to like think of like where they would break it up.
Well, that's right.
I've only played it once. I played it like right when it came out. kind of like nonstop for a few days until I finished, and then I haven't like replayed it since. But
and right now, as we're recording this, don't forget that Last of Us Season 2 Part 2 is currently remastered on PlayStation, which you can go download right now if you'd like, which is like the third remaster, I feel, of this game.
for part 2?
Part 2, yeah.
I think that's only the first remaster then for that one, isn't it? I know part 1 they literally like remade it as part 1, which I just downloaded. I'm probably gonna like replay the first one again, like the part 1 remake.
But all that's maybe I think remaster part 2, yep, it could be, because I mean, The Last of Us Part 1's been remade like I feel like 3 times.
Well, it was remastered and then it was remade.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is just turning into another Skyrim.
Yeah, I don't know if there's plans. It's sort of been unclear on whether there's gonna be like a third game or not.
I think they've said no. They've said no unless they've got a good story.
Yeah, that's fair.
But right now they're all tied up in their brand new video game.
Yeah, I've heard there. Or isn't Naughty Dog making like 3 games or something? I heard right now.
I don't know about 3 games, but I know that I think it was Neil Druckerman said in an interview that he's definitely not working on the third game because he's going to go working on the new. Sorry, not the third Last of Us. He's going to be working on the new game, the sci-fi game.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for anything Naughty Dog does because just ever since the first Uncharted game came out, I've just been I love their games. I'm even more of like an Uncharted guy than I am Last of Us, but
it's not another Uncharted.
No, I know, and I don't think it should. That's another one where it's like very much like the fourth one. Like I just finished replaying them all for like the billionth time, like on the hardest difficulty now, on like the crushing difficulty. Died a lot, but I got through it. But yeah, no, those like that had like one of the best endings ever to any like series, be it games or movies or whatever. They should probably just leave it. And then they even had the game after with like Chloe, like one of the kind of side characters that was sort of like nice little epilogue, like. But Really, so have you played any of those games?
No, the Uncharted, no. But I've seen the gameplay and everything. Like I appreciate how good it is. Uncharted, no. But I didn't like. I know people ripped on it, but I didn't think the movie was that bad. I actually liked the movie. I thought it was.
It's my favorite video game movie. Not that that's saying much, but I mean I'm biased because I like Uncharted. But also some people who love the games hated the movie, and I didn't think it was like anywhere near the games. Like it wasn't quite the same thing. But I mean I'd be lying if I said it wasn't my favorite video game movie, probably, for whatever that's worth.
No, and I don't think they're going to make Uncharted 2 with Tom Holland.
I kept hearing that they're still making that, but yeah, I don't know. I'd watch it.
I'll watch it
obviously.
too. Yeah, I don't think it's.
Because it did well at the box office, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so in June 2024, Sony Pictures Entertainment Stephen Odell confirmed that a sequel was in active development. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of one of those ones that's been kind of like unclear whether it's like oh, it did pretty well, so you'd think they'd make a sequel, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
have you ever seen the interview with Mark Wahlberg with the role?
What about?
Mark Wahlberg about the role as Sully?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, he was pretty, like, I mean, both of them to an extent, but especially him. Yeah. They weren't the best castings.
Oh no, he the funny thing is, like, when he got the call about Uncharted, he thought it was for Nathan Drake.
Oh yeah, no, well, because I think they were developing the movie for so long. Like earlier on, he was like the one they were gonna have for Nathan, I think.
And then apparently he turned around and was like, they're like, oh, no, we want you for Sully. He's like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, he wouldn't have been my pick for either of them, but
I think Tom Holland did a good job.
Yeah, I think it's tricky because it's like I think he's a good young Nathan Drake if they were doing like just like about like Nathan Drake when he's younger.
Yeah.
Like if they were, it would be cool if they were just doing like a prequel that was actually like in continuity with the games or something. Yeah, but it's very much its own thing. It's not at all in continuity with them.
Yeah. No,
and
like
it is sucky because it's like, or sorry, what were we gonna say?
I was gonna say like they couldn't get Nathan Fillion to play.
Yeah, him. I mean he did do that like crazy fan film.
Yes,
that was like quite professionally done. I mean, because it had him in it, and like I think Stephen Lang was Sully.
Yeah.
From like Avatar and stuff.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, no, but like I don't know who's the perfect Sully. He was an alright pick. I guess I've heard people throw out J.K. Simmons and stuff. But yeah, no, there's no question. Like Nathan Fillion, like he literally, like it's crazy how much he looks and acts and sounds like Nathan Drake. Except now it's like kind of too late. He's definitely, unless they're doing like kind of a story about Nathan Drake when he's older, which would be a weird direction to go when they've already sort of ended his story in the games.
No, and right now with Tom Holland it's gonna be a little while because Tom Holland is fully wrapped up in.
I don't know. I do have a sneaking suspicion they might not actually end up making that one, but we'll see.
What, Uncharted 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's going to be Spider-Man. I was like, no, Spider-Man's coming. Spider-Man's coming. No, but
I know that's coming.
Huh?
Oh, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I know there's more Spider-Man movies coming.
Oh, yeah. But look, Eric, thank you so much for coming on this episode. And with Andor, The Last of Us, and the tangent straight into James Bond.
Yeah, that's how we kicked it all off.
Yeah, ticked it all off. You know, it's I'm glad we had the more time to talk about it like this. But again, thank you so much. And do you have any final words for what listeners?
I don't know. I just hope the Star Wars fans watching this weren't too annoyed with me on my I don't know, lack of knowledge on some of that when discussing Andor.
You're fine. It's all right. I'll let you know in the comments that when they come back at you that they'll drop your link to your profile and let them go attack. But no, and thank you again. Thank you so much for doing back-to-back episodes. I look forward to the next time you're on here. And it's always a great time. It's always a great debate, especially when we both agree that Barbie is better than Joker 2. I'm so glad that we cleared it.
Yeah, I forgot. That. Yeah, we had a Joker tangent even. Yeah.
We did. But ladies and gentlemen, ranters and rantettes, as always, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode. And until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy